Okay, I'm back with the finished spread. I am done with July. I'm so excited. I'm done with my first month of Stop the Blur. I decided to start Stop the Blur in the middle of the year last year. This is actually it wasn't even the middle of the year, it was the 7th month. It's July. I decided, oh, I'm gonna just start the blur. I'm just gonna start documenting and writing everything down in my calendar as I can recall. And then this is January. I'm trying to keep up with it. I forgot like the first 3-4 days. I have that written down, and I said in July I just decided I was gonna start here. I wrote it down in one of these things, one of these planner pages from Heidi Swapp. I cut them down so that I can put them in my calendar as I'm working through them. This is July 4th through the 10th, but this is just to give you an idea. This is supposed to be the actual sketch for the planning of the spread because it has 8 compartments on the paper, and then you just go down the week like this. So you start off with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you have a little blank space. It says notes in the actual book. And I just decided to write down my things in here. I really liked that idea, but I kept writing them from left to right. So then when I try to go reference it, I'm like going like this, and I realize that it's the wrong day. So if I'm not careful, and look at the number of the date, I will write the wrong thing down. I try to at least remember it, and that's probably the hardest thing for me to do, is just to try to remember to write some things down, some notable things, some smaller things. And that's the thing that I kind of keep being reflective about throughout the day, is like, what do I want to remember? There's the regular humdrum, but then there's stories behind that, right? That you can document, as far as that's what this translated into. This translated into this. This was a big day. It was filled a whole bunch with a trip to Denver, and then we ended up doing this at Denver, and yada yada. That was on a Wednesday, so I made the insert for the trip to Denver. Anyway, I am digressing. So I'm done with July. This is how July looks like in this page, but I decided that I was going to try to keep up with it. And even in some months, I can't remember what I wrote. I have to refer back to the photos that I took. So that's what I'm doing. If I have receipts, I keep those too. I go through them. I have to organize them by month, and that's one of the things that I do need to do. And so now I need to figure out what it is. I have to remember, like on days that I didn't do this, if I have receipts to go through. So I'm going to try to have to fill in some of these days, and even on the days that I don't have, they only go from Monday through Sunday. Yes. So even when there's like days like this where I don't remember to write anything down, or I don't have a lot of photos to fill in, I can always try to work on those weeks as some of my simpler pages, and hopefully that'll keep me in practice of how to kind of less is more myself sometimes. Because these spreads, the weeks are so, they go by day, and they're very detail oriented. There's a lot of little work to do. Like here I kind of used a stamp to stamp here in this little circle. I add little embellishments. I stamped on the date circles. And so there's a lot of things that are kind of labor intensive, especially with the stamping, or I do too much sometimes, where instead of just adding the washi, I cut it out of the washi and I cut all those rainbows out. I had half a rainbow here, and I ended up using it down here as well. So let's just go through the weeks and then see what I did. First of all, I was inspired by Susanna Lee. She did an orange and teal layout, and of course mine doesn't look like that at all. But that's she did a video of it, and that's what hers looked like. Of course, I aspire to make mine a lot more simpler like hers, but I'm not at that point. And that really isn't me. It's just something that I admire about other creators, is that they have a very good eye for editing. I like a maximalist look, and I also like to use up I want to use up more of my product. And so I think that's probably what I like about it, is that I can use so many stickers or so many little things, because usually those are the ones that are left over. But I love, 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 love her layout and the way it came out. And so she said she had a tough time about orange and teal, and I wanted to kind of have a stab at it, my own version, of course, and or my interpretation of it. And this is as best as I can do. I really tried to stick to the orange and teal. It didn't help that I started off with a rainbow washi at the header, but I really, those are the two colors that I focused on. If I spread it out a little bit towards like the pink, because I know I used some of that, it's okay, because when I pulled out these two pieces, it had blues, it had pinks, it had the greens, so, and even the black and white. So I was okay with that. This has different variations of the orange, and so I gave myself space, I think. And this even has green along the white, which makes the, pink along the white. So it lends itself towards that blending of colors, or the opportunity, I would say, to use other colors instead of that were the main focus. So this is actually packaging from one of Vicki Boutin's, the cardboard backing from one of Vicki Boutin's ephemera packs. And what I did is I just ripped off the layers from the back of the cardboard so that I could keep that, and then I fussy cut out that flower. This is one of her pattern papers, and I just love her florals. These particularly I really liked, and so I fussy cut out the rest of this and use these as a focus. I did know by then that I wanted to do this orange and teal, and these came from a Simple Stories line. They're flat stickers that I want to use up. I did use up some of these numbers here, so that's what I have left as far as my numbers go, and this is what I have left of those alphas. I then started planning out by, and I have to remind myself to do this because sometimes I overthink things, and of course, naturally, I do that. So I decided I need to have a process. I first decide on like what kind of color scheme I want to focus on. Then I know that I have to do the numbers first, because that kind of helps to get into the swing of things. It's kind of like when you start, if you're a scrapbooker, you start off by cutting into the paper. You choose your pictures, you choose what collection you want to use, and then you start cutting into the papers. It's the same kind of process for me, and that's what I figured out. One, by listening to the Stop the Blur videos that Heidi Swapp puts out every month. Also, I learned some of the techniques by watching those videos. Those are like $10 a month, I think, and then you get a free printable. And honestly, the free printable is where it's at, because I really like her designs. I really like the things that she adds for the spreads. But I decide then, after I do the numbers, where I'm going to stick my photos. And sometimes the photos aren't really much of anything. This one had a order that I made from a cherry on top, hence the cherries. I did a picture of my son's 3rd grade shopping list for school. An update on, this isn't a picture, so let's keep with the pictures. This is a picture of a grocery shopping day. I'm not even done gluing this down. This is not glued yet because I wanted to give it a chance to dry, and I laid it out so that I can let it dry. Because I inked over those letters. These are 2 pictures of us at the school registration. I gotta stop moving this because it's really centered in. These are pictures of the renovations that we're having in our kitchen. Another picture of Happy Mail coming in, and then pictures of my kids and the yard work we were doing. This is a picture of the screen of the movie we were watching. Another picture here. These flip-flopped initially. I don't know where I have my list, but you really can't see it anyway because I drew it in blue pencil. I used that one weekly spread. I have it here because I haven't finished my journaling, but I did want to show this because I eventually want to put all these videos together, and this is the last part I had. These are the journaling bits that I had in the back of the photo. Sometimes I do that, and then I back the photograph with a piece of pattern paper or scraps of them. This is, I wrote my things here, and then I turned it over and I decided that I was going to think my spread through, and I don't even know if you can see that, but that's what I decided I was going to do. As you can see here, I was going to keep both of these days together, but I was going to put the flower down here, and that didn't work for me because I kind of wanted to give it a diagonal look like in the design concepts that I use with scrapbooking. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up moving this floral here. So we'll go through the day then. I added this flip here where I could add my journaling about putting in an order to a cherry on top. This is an update that I just wrote about how we were feeling because we had gotten sick the week before. This is a picture of my son's school supply list that he needed, and then I just taped down with red line tape this corner and this corner of this 2x2 square from Paige Evans. I used one of Heidi Swapp's file folders. I still have the journaling to do here, and this is a picture of the grocery cart, and I just put a little quote cut apart that I found. I put the pictures here of us at the open house school night, and I've yet to put in the journaling, but I put the number 4 that I found in one of my planner stickers. And since it had the yellow from the pencil and the blue from, or the teal, and I spread out into the pink here, I used it here. And of course, black and white from the flowers. I ended up using all of those colors, and I'm going to put down my journaling right there. I have a pocket here from Heidi Swapp and one of her journaling pages because I'm going to journal about the process in our renovations. I made this like a tucking piece. It's only taped down here in the bottom with red line tape, and then it has my picture. I did back it with scrap pieces of paper, and I don't have much journaling to do about this, so I might just leave it like that, or I might just give it a little bit of information. This one I tucked in here using this tab from the file folder. I didn't glue that part down. And then I also cut this 2x2 piece. I detail cut or fussy cut the hat and only left this uncut from the side of the hat. So that's the part that's letting this piece tuck into the book. So I actually have it tucking in 3 places. I have it being held by the leaf, the hat, and this tab piece here. And then it keeps it in the book because this little tab here from Embrace the Journey is not glued down. So it keeps this piece in the book. I haven't added the journaling to that. I added puffies and label stickers. And then on the back, I used a journaling card. I used some stickers and some washi to decorate the edges so that they're not blank. And it's an extra opportunity to use more stickers, opportunities to use more, period. I used another one of those file folders, the mini file folders. I have to finish labeling it here. I used some tickets from Tim Holtz. This is just holding the ticket stubs. And then I stapled them together, and I used a little washi tape to pull them out if I decide I want to see them. I put a screenshot of the actual movie screen. And then I used 3 of these sticker elements from the Heidi Swapp Stop the Blur kit so that I could create a visual triangle. My eye will look for them, or I know I have them on there. I still have to label these 2. I added another little ephemera piece here to just, I like things coming out of the page because they're going to be in an album, so I'm not worried about them coming out of the page on the sides. I have another one here from this spread where it's a butterfly, an acrylic butterfly, and it also sticks out. And then the final day here is just a bunch of, it's a tag from a Dear Lizzie collection, photograph, sticker piece where I fussy cut these cameras right here. Where's the third one? There was another one. There it is. And I cut these out from the little branding strip from the 6x6 paper. I really like them together, but I cut them out and I use them as little decorative pieces there. That also gives it the visual triangle. Like I said, I backed this washi on some vellum paper, and then these hearts were were planner stickers. There is a third heart somewhere that was also a planner sticker, and right now I can't find it. Oh, there it is, the red one. The big hearts and this red one, and these you can do this, let's do this, and then there was another third one I used from my planner sticker sheets, and I used all of the ones that I had pulled out. At the beginning of the video, I did show that I wanted to use these Pink Fresh Studio stickers and these Heidi Swapp stickers. They didn't get used. I also pulled out this pocket of scraps in the orange and the teal. I also didn't use those. I ended up using mostly the Stop the Blur kit, and then planner stickers, scraps, and ephemera, because I went through my ephemera books. And then I saw these. I was looking for teal colored papers. I knew I had cut these for a project for my son. And so this had a lot of that teal color that I was looking for. And then I saw these next to them. So I went through them as well and picked out some stuff that I thought I might use. So those were good to use here because they're just that size. So since I know I don't pick these up very often, I might look into them a bit more to try and use those up. So I did use quite a few things. I labeled this month. I labeled everything with this type of washi, and I want to keep track of the things that I use so far. Next month I'm using a different colored washi. I have it on my to-do list, and it's this color. So I'm going to keep track of that throughout the year in my calendar, and then that way I know what I have and have not been using this year. Some of my other products in my room I know have washi labeled on them from previous years, so this year I'm just going to write a 23 right on top of the washi so that I know it was used this year. And then that way I can see what I haven't used, and if I can see that I've used it this year, then I can probably skip over it and try and use things that aren't labeled. So that's going to be one way that I keep trying to use not everything in my room, but at least I can keep track of what is and isn't being used by labeling it. In my head, it seems like a system that'll work. It's good to kind of figure yourself out that way if that's something that you're looking to use more tools, because I used this stencil on this card here with the ink, and I ended up labeling it, and now I know that I've used this stencil. I've used the stamp set, and so I actually do have them labeled. And so I know that I'm using product, and I know that I'm using tools, and that's kind of a real big motivator for me. So anyway, that was my long-winded explanation of what I did for this spread. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't completely tack down everything, but I like the dimension in the tucky pieces. This is a little Tim Holtz butterfly. I ended up pulling that in there too. This is a Mambi puffy sticker, and so is this one. It's like a chipboard with puffy on it. I took dimensional foam off of it and I just used it there. So if there's any questions or comments, this is from Crate Paper, I believe. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not. These are Amy Tangerine puffies. This is from Pink Fresh Studio. It was a little ephemera piece that was tiny, and I just cut out fussy cut the house and used that. I really like how it came out. This is a favorite of mine, but the one previous that you'll see a video of is that's probably my most favorite to date. I've only done like 4. Yeah, I've only done 4 spreads. The previous one is my most favorite to date. So we'll see how this goes. I already have stuff planned. I already have my pictures printed. I hope to just keep going with this along with the scrapbooking pages that I have planned. Oh, see, here it is. I was looking for my photographs, and this is the August kit. So I'm going to use this next and see what I can hopefully make all of August with that kit and see how much we have used. I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing how much I have left over of this kit. If that's something of interest to you, please let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, if you are subscribed, if you haven't already, I'd love to have you as a person in my community channel. I have been trying to be very diligent with responding to subscribers, and I just want you to know that I appreciate having you here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.